Welcome to worship with the Universalist Unitarian Church in Peoria. I'm the Reverend Innis. It is my great joy to be the minister with this congregation of all ages, at all stages of life, including all stages of our shared winged life here. You'll hear more about that soon. All who join us in the spirit of curiosity, love, and justice are welcome this morning. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your life's journey, your presence is a blessing. Whether you're with us every Sunday or twice a year or here this morning for the first time, we are so glad that you are here. Today, I'm grateful to be offering the concluding Sunday for our monthly theme of awakening. We are inspired by Earth Day. Today's service features major elements of worship created by the Unitarian Universalist Ministry for Earth. The elements are adapted into what works for worship in this congregation, but you're going to hear a couple of references to other elements of the service, but just kind of go with it here. And I'm so grateful for the work that went into creating the service that is intended to reconnect us with the earth and the elements and deepen our spirits and reconnect us in our urgent effort to address climate change. If you have questions about the service or want to know about the entirety of the Ministry for Earth service, please let me know. It's such a pleasure to be able to bring the work of the Unitarian Universalist Ministry for Earth into our worship today. Now, in the spirit Sunday for our month, in the spirit of our mission to build a beloved community that centers justice, equity, compassion, and interconnection, let us take a moment to acknowledge the gathering upon native land. This is the native land of the Peoria people. They welcomed the first European settlers as they came down the river. We honor the Peoria people for their presence as ancestors, as well as who they are today. I also want to take a moment to welcome those who are new to us today. If you're wondering, well, you'll hear more about why we're all wearing antenna in just a second, I promise. Because, sometimes you come to church and when you see these antennae, it takes a lot of courage to keep coming into church. But that's okay. This is part of our spirit, right? And you get to have it in an embodied experience at the moment, and we're so glad you're with us. For newcomers who are joining us online, we invite you to introduce yourself in the chat so our community can warmly welcome you. There's also ways to stay connected, and please drop the line to the church office so we can help get to know you. If you're watching the recording, by all means, let us get to know you as well. For those of us who are new to us in person, I hope you'll stick around after the service and introduce yourselves to us, help us introduce ourselves to you. I'll give you a hint. If you walk into Fellowship Hall, there is a huge earth ball in Fellowship Hall. So that by itself might be a reason to go in, and you can take a selfie with the earth. I mean, where else can you do that but our church today? Here's a note about how we also are together in worship. I invite you to turn your respective devices into worship mode, so silent or on buzz. We're not bees today, but we can buzz. That's okay too. We also are making an effort to social distance, and we're masking in the sanctuary while singing and while the children are in worship, as well as in our religious education wing. You can see the insert in the order of service for more information. And now we have a special announcement about our annual campaign from our most excellent tech volunteer, Austin Locke. Oh, and might be a fellow butterfly as well. Go this way, go this way.
Testing. There we go. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. They asked me to speak about the pledge campaign and talk about why I pledge and what this church means to me. So I thought I'd share just really briefly about how I came to this church. I was driving down War Memorial Bridge, and on the NPR radio came on an advertisement for this church that was welcoming the LGBTQ community. And I thought, whoa, what church is advertising that they're welcoming the LGBTQ community? And I was like, oh, that might be the church that I would be interested in. So I came to this church, and I saw, as the very first person when I walked in, was Nancy Rakoff's smiling face. And I immediately felt at home in this church. I immediately felt like I had a place where I could share my values with the people that were already here. And that's why this church is important to me, is the shared values that we all have and the openness that we have with every way of thinking, every way of acting. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what you feel. This church is an open community to that. And for me, that's an important place to support. I want to support that any way I can. And that's really why I pledge, is because I want this place to continue. I want it to continue to be a haven for people that are open and love other people. And that's not, those values are not shared by all places of religion. This place really is a unique place. So I hope that you all will join me and do what you can to support and pledge to this church. And it really helps them, it really helps us keep this place a community where we all can feel at home. So thank you very much.
Got to change the height on that. Okay. So, thank you, Austin, very much. This is a place where we have a chance to kind of live and explore our spiritual journeys in all the kinds of ways that the human experience is with us. I also want to note that, Amanda, are we at 65%?
69%.
69%. Woo. We are at 69% of the goal for our annual campaign. I really want to thank everybody who's been contributing. I want to encourage folks, if you haven't yet had a chance to pledge, if you're kind of curious what's involved or where we are with the financials and so on, you're welcome to ask. We want to be entirely transparent. Amanda Franklin is our campaign chair and is available for questions. We also have pledge forms ongoing. Next week will be the official close of our annual campaign, and we hope to get more closer to that, there's my good English, more closer to that goal as we possibly can before the official close. So now I want to invite you into the opening music for this morning. It is by the singer, songwriter, artist Gordon Sumner, known as Sting, and performed by folks who are part of the Ministry for Earth. So I want to invite you to enjoy a piece called Fragile Fragilidad.
If blood will flow when flesh and steel are one, drying in the color of the evening sun, tomorrow's rain will wash the stains away, but something in our minds will always stay. Perhaps this final act was meant to clinch a lifetime's argument that nothing comes from violence and nothing ever could. For all those born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are. tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. Mañana ya la sangre no estará. Al caer la lluvia se la llevará. Acero y piel, combinación tan cruel, pero algo en nuestras mentes quedará. Un acto así terminará con una vida y nada más. Nada se logra con violencia, ni se logrará. A todos los que han nacido en un mundo así, no olviden su fragilidad. Lloras tú y lloro yo, y el cielo también, y el cielo también. Lloras tú y lloro yo, qué fragilidad, qué fragilidad. Llores tú y lloro yo, y el cielo también, y el cielo también. Oh, llores tú y lloro yo, qué fragilidad, qué fragilidad. Oh, on and on the rain will fall, like tears from the sky, like tears from a star. Oh, on and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are.
Welcome. We are honored and grateful to gather in reverence and worship with you today. My name is Allie Tharp, and my pronouns are she, her, and they, them.
My name is Reverend Daniel Lawler, and my pronouns are he, him. Allie and I are co-directors of the Unitarian Universalist Ministry for Earth. At UU Ministry for Earth, our mission is to be a wellspring of spiritual grounding, education, and accountable action for environmental justice, climate justice, and the flourishing of all life.
As Dana Clark reminds us in her new climate hymn, debuting during this very service, it will take all of us, working with all of us, doing what none of us can do alone. Thank you for joining together with UU Ministry for Earth to support and embody this important mission. It will take all of us.
Unitarian Universalist Ministry for Earth is honored to welcome you into this worship service, where we will meditate on Earth's elements and listen to the call for Earth justice, a call to action in the face of the climate crisis. Now, this service structure may be a bit different from what you're used to. We hope it will be a visual feast, reminding us that as living beings, we are anchored in the elements of earth, fire, water, and air. We will also be doing some physical movement and somatic exercises led by Sahar Musin Lofman. Please join in these exercises as you are willing and able, so that we may worship literally in body and spirit.
On behalf of UU Ministry for Earth, we extend our deepest gratitude to all of the collaborators who helped bring this worship together. Worship coordinator, Reverend Dr. Leonisa Artizone, for her singing, Story of All Ages, and reflection. Reverend Mariela Perez Simmons and Sahar Musin Lofman for their elemental meditations and movement. Minister David Waters for his prayer. Musician Dennis Yeary. Video editor and choir director John Olin. Dana Clark, creator of the new climate hymn, All of Us. All of our virtual choir participants, all the congregations who are sharing this worship service, the minister Stacy Craig, as well as Rose Singleton, and every member of the amazing team behind the Intergenerational Spring Seminar. A heartfelt thank you so very much.
As Unitarian Universalists, we celebrate the sacred circle of life and confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love. Today, as we light our chalice, we are called into the space, the words of Reverend Marta Valentin, from the meditation, Lifting Our Voices. We come together today to honor the universal community of seekers to which we all belong. We gather today to share from our deepest place of safety, that we might nurture ourselves by celebrating one another. We call into our presence this hour our ancestors, whose love, labor, and commitment made it possible for us to be here now. Let us call one another to the table of abundance, that we may feed on those fruits that sustain us and that ever ask us to grow. And as I light our chalice, let us be open to this moment with hearts that have no borders. May it be so. Amen.
Good morning. Today we are celebrating our earth and recommitting ourselves to taking care of this beautiful home on which we all live. My story today is about a special friendship shared by one little boy and the earth. It is called The Earth and I by Frank Ash. The earth and I are friends. Sometimes we go for long walks together. I tell her what's on my mind, and she listens to every word. Then I listen to her. The earth and I are friends. We play together in my backyard. I help her grow, and she helps me grow. I sing for her, she sings for me. I dance for her, she dances for me. When she's sad, I'm sad. When she's happy, I'm happy. The earth and I are friends. May we all remember our special connection and relationship with the earth and our responsibility for taking care of her, because she takes care of us. So may it be always.
As surely as we belong to the universe, we belong together. We join here to transcend the isolated self, to reconnect, to know ourselves, to be at home. Here on earth, under the stars, linked with each other. This is the time for sharing the joys and sorrows of the congregation. And we start with healing wishes. For Mary Mahalan Kafar, she continues to recover at home following a recent surgery. We offer healing wishes to Brandy, Chris, and AJ Watson as they recover at home from injuries sustained in an automobile accident. And now we offer our congratulations to Pat and Ellie Caulfield, who are traveling to North Carolina to celebrate their grandson Sage's graduation from North Carolina State with a degree in industrial design. Pat and Ellie also will be spending their time with their sons, Patrick and Andrew, also in North Carolina. It is a lovely trip. I hope they have a wonderful time. And congratulations to Sage for the graduation. I want to offer one more moment of quiet. We'll have a chance to reflect with some of the elements from the meditation through the Ministry for Earth. But for this moment, I want to offer a moment of reflection. For some of us, this may be the one pause we have all week. Let us not underestimate the value of simply stopping and how precious that pause is, that we can share it with a circle of care such as this, that we might stop and be present to our whole lives, all that is in our minds, all that is in our hearts, all that is present for us and can't possibly have enough time to be shared in even an hour of worship, but it is with us still. I invite you to join with me in sharing a moment of quiet together. Amen. And now we have some sections from the elemental meditation provided by Ministry for Earth.
The earth is steady. When you are close to the earth, you feel grounded. Your nervous system is more regulated. Your blood pressure tends to drop. Those of you who are blessed to have steadiness, the steadiness of the earth as part of your personality, you tend to be people who can be counted on. Those of you with the earth element are firm and steady. You are builders, providers of stability in any team, in your family. Anywhere you go, you provide stability for others. Yes, you have to watch out for rigidity, but in general, this element is the foundation of everything. The earth holds everything. So it is essential for us to find the steadiness of the earth somewhere. It can be by connecting directly to the earth and feeling that support, or by having a community that fully supported, that you feel you can rest on. And again, things in your life, spiritual practices, structures in your life that support you and it support your nervous system. It is essential for us to find the steadiness of the earth. Gracias, Mother Earth, Pachamama, Madre Tierra. Thank you for your steadiness, your stability. Thank you.
Let's simply begin by tapping our chest. Even though I worry about the state of the earth, I am also the earth that needs care and deeply and completely accept myself. Golden Ball Qigong. Envision yourself holding a golden ball. As you inhale, the ball expands. As you exhale, it contracts. Inhale to breathe it into your chest. Exhale to breathe it out of your chest. Inhale to bring it down towards the earth. And exhale to dissipate. Shake it out and shake yourself out with it.
So the earth is down here supporting everything. Then comes the water with its delicious nourishment. And on top of that, we have the rising energy of the fire to mobilize us and get us to take action. And last but not least at all is the element of air. I was 11 or 12 years old when I first experienced the beauty, the harmony, the love of the air element. I was working outside in a orange orchard in Cuba, and I was alone, and I was feeling afraid. And all of a sudden, this gust of wind came out of nowhere, and it engulfed me. I felt uplifted, as if I was floating a few feet above ground. The air element has this uplifting quality to it. It's being associated with spirit, with the heart center, with the goodness, the benevolence of life, with harmony. I love the earth element. We connect with this element by opening a window or going outside to take a few deep breaths. We can feel it against our skin, how it plays with our hair, how it feels our lungs cleaning us. Breathwork is an amazing practice. The wise sages of time have always known that these practices of breathwork, deep breathing, connect us to spirit. So we become more benevolent, more altruistic, more playful, lighter when we cultivate the air element inside of us. And yes, again, because the heart is all about relationships. It's this energy that wants to connect. And so I want to invite you now for a minute to place your hand over your heart. to feel your heartbeat and to connect to that center of loving kindness, and to live and to connect and to give from that place of benevolence, of goodness, of kindness, of love. Thank you, air element. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, love.
I invite you to join me in breathing for just one more moment together. To breathe in and out, in and out. We're going to bring it all into our body with our next song, My Roots Go Down. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us in singing and in moving together. My roots go down.
My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down. I am a wildflower pushing through the stones. I am a wildflower pushing through the stones. I am a wildflower pushing through the stones. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. I am a willow swaying through the storm. I am a willow swaying through the storm. I am a willow swaying through the storm. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down.
And now we offer our message from Reverend Dr. Leonisa Artizone.
The World That Jack Built by Ruth Brown. This is the house that Jack built. These are the trees that grow by the house that Jack built. This is the stream that flows past the trees that grow by the house that Jack built. These are the meadows that border the stream that flows past the trees that grow by the house that Jack built. These are the woods that shelter the meadows that border the stream that flows past the trees that grow by the house that Jack built. These are the hills that form the valley that surrounds the woods, that shelter the meadows, that border the stream, that flows past the trees, that grow by the house that Jack built. These are the hills that form the valley next to the one that surrounds the woods, that shelter the meadows, that border the stream, that flows past the trees that grow by the house that Jack built. And these are the woods that cover those hills and shelter the meadows that border the stream. That flows past the place where the trees used to grow, next to the factory that Jack built.
I don't remember when I bought the world that Jack built, but I know that my child was small at the time, and I know that I immediately loved it. It's not the cheeriest of children's books. To this day, people come up to me and say, "Ooh, that's a bit of a bummer." And I suppose it is. But it's honest, and we are clearly at a place in time where we need to be honest and realistic about the state of the planet. As we follow Jack's little black cat while he bounces through the air, across the earth and over the water, we see the splendor of nature, the beauty and the bounty and the gifts. We are drawn into Ruth Brown's illustrations of clean air, flowing healthy water, and an earth manifesting so much life. And then we see the opposite. We see contaminated water, polluted air, damaged trees. We can also imagine what she didn't draw, what we don't directly see, just how far this destruction reaches. Through these images, we come to understand that the choices Jack made had an impact, a harmful one. So for me, this book is not a bummer, but rather an invitation. An invitation to acknowledge the damage humans have done to the planet, especially humans who have intentionally chosen to live disconnected from creation. The latest report from the International Panel on Climate Change has unequivocally stated that humans are the cause of global warming. Thus, the time for debate or disengagement has passed, and we must now all turn to the spiritual and transformative sources that will guide us as we work to stop the progress of climate change and all its attendant effects, including extreme weather, rising sea levels, forced migration, habitat destruction, food deserts, and a sixth extinction. It is also important to note that many of these horrors disproportionately affect those who have done the least to contribute to global warming. Now, we mustn't feel overwhelmed. We are gathered here today, yous around the country, maybe the world, as people who care. We are here to get grounded so we can stay ready for the work ahead of us. And we don't have to guess about what to do. Scientists and researchers have told us exactly what we need to do. We must decrease the amount of greenhouse gases going into the environment and increase our carbon sinks, which help to absorb carbon dioxide. So, simply, we must stop using fossil fuels. We have to replace harmful farming and animal-based agriculture and stop overconsumption and other exploitative practices. We must also plant trees, support local, sustainable, and seasonal agriculture, and use water and other resources more mindfully. Now, we can do all these things in some way on the personal and local level. Make changes that not only have an impact, but also model for our friends and neighbors a different way to live. And perhaps more importantly, we can all work together to change the oppressive, dehumanizing, and damaging capitalist system that has gotten us to this point. Collectively, we are stronger, and our united voices and actions can shift our current way of being to something more humane, more connected, more mindful. You see, there is a new path to make, and we are the ones to do it. To do so, we will need grounding. We already have the knowledge. Science has given us that. We need the spiritual connection and sustenance to act, to go deep, to go all in. So what calls you into connection with all of creation? Is it walking barefoot on the earth, feeling dirt beneath your feet, or digging into soil and communing with the microbes and mycelia? Is it sitting on the shore of a lake or the sea, perhaps diving into the depths of the water, exploring this vastness that hosts so much life, which in turn gives us life? Is it taking a walk and marveling at the symbiotic relationship between photosynthesizers and your lungs as you breathe deeply and fill yourself with oxygen? Is it standing in front of a campfire, watching the flames spit as twigs get reduced to their elemental carbon, providing you with warmth and perspective? I am a firm believer that if we are going to care about the planet, we need to have a relationship with the planet. A relationship founded upon respect, reciprocity, and reverence. We need to understand that every living thing is made of the same elements: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. And that each of these four elements interact in wondrous ways to create the elements that Reverend Mariella and Sahar have invited us to explore: earth, water, fire, and air. We are all connected. I invite you to consider which of the meditations shared today speaks to your spirit. Which will guide you into your sacred activism? What practices will you add into your daily life that can heal you, that can replenish your body, mind, and spirit, that will feed your call to care for creation? I pray that each of us finds that which will give us strength, will guide us, and will sustain us. I pray that we all find a way to practice reverence for our Mother Earth. I pray that we find ourselves rooted and ready for the task at hand. I pray that we all feel called to live more simply so that others may simply live. May it be so.
Each life is precious, love infinite.
Our Sending Our Light into the World comes to us from the environmental justice students at Vassar College.
We extinguish this flame, but not our fiery call to action. We extinguish this flame, but not our passion to care for creation. We extinguish this flame, but not our call to be in deeper connection with Earth and all of our relations. We extinguish this flame, but not the bright light showing us a better way. We extinguish this flame, and as we do, we acknowledge that our greatest asset is one another.
A benediction comes from the Reverend David Waters, Minister of Education from King's Chapel Church in Boston. My dear friends, as we gather in this 11th hour of the climate crisis, in this virtual, expansive house of prayer, as we remember the profound elements of earth, fire, water, and air, knowing that all of us together can do what none of us can do alone, may we be vessels of connection and possibility. May we accompany one another in hard times. May we be awake to the cries of climate migrants for justice. May we recognize what is healing and choose to live in ways that bring life and hope into the world. May the elements that connect us in the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part inspire us to reach beyond ourselves to one another in deeper, sacred, covenantal relationship. May we seek and offer the abundant love that is within us and around us in all times. May it be so. Our worship is ended. Let our service begin.